A medical device tubing misconnection is when a connection is made between devices that were not intended to connect, unintentionally delivering medication, oxygen, or fluid to the wrong place. Misconnections can happen because connectors are physically compatible, plus, certain circumstances contribute to the possibility of a misconnection.
I'm Dr. Peggy Gunter. I'm a nutrition support nurse and work for the American Society of Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition. In 2006, the Joint Commission came out with a Sentinel event alert and really said that you needed a physical barrier, a forcing function, different kind of connector in order to prevent these misconnections. At the same time, some European efforts were going on, and the FDA thought it was wise to begin an ISO process, an International Standards Organization process, looking at these misconnection issues. In order to make this happen and not overwhelm the healthcare industry, the first connector that has been developed is the enteral connector, which will be phased in first.
Enteral is the first application to launch a new design standard, ISO 80369-3. It is called the InFit connector.
Currently, you will see that the administration set with the Christmas tree connector will be fitting into the current tube, but you can also see how they might fit into another type of device and cause a misconnection. And so now with the new ENFit connector and making that connection, you will see that there is a rigid connector and that there will be a twisting motion and a forcing function created here where these two ends of this connection will not fit into any other type of device. As this process goes along, we will use a transition connector, and that transition connector will hook into the new administration set, and the other end is a Christmas tree end which will fit into the current feeding tube. And we will continue to use that until we have the ability to take the new administration sets with the new connectors and hook them into new feeding tubes.
The new design standard impacts the entire enteral system. The nutrition end, also known as the proximal end connector, was changed in 2012. The ENFit connector requires an enteral-specific syringe to administer medicine, flush, hydrate, or bolus feed. Oral, catheter, and lure tip syringes will not work in the new ENFit system. There are two tip versions of the enteral-specific syringe, single thread or dual thread, as shown here. Administration sets will have the new female ENFit connector for pump set, gravity set, and other bolus feed or venting devices. Feeding tubes or extension sets for skin-level, low-profile devices will have the new male connector for NG tubes, G tubes, and J tubes. In order to help organizations flow through existing inventory and minimize disruption to therapy, the ENFit transition connector will allow temporary fitment from the new ENFit connector to current feeding tube ports. Pending FDA 510(k) clearance, the transition will begin with administration sets in the first quarter of 2015 in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Enteral-specific syringes will follow in the second quarter of 2015 and feeding tubes in the third quarter. These are target dates for availability and are subject to change. This is a global initiative and will be introduced throughout the world over time. Anticipated timing for the introduction of these new connectors in Europe and other markets throughout the world will be administration sets and enteral-specific syringes in the third quarter of 2015 and feeding tubes in the first quarter of 2016.
So we want to remind you to take this program information that you've learned about and take it back to your institutions, your facilities. The way that you can learn about this information, get more information, and stay in the loop with communication is to go to stayconnected2014.org. There you will find the resources, you will be able to get updates and information, share that website with your colleagues, and really stay on top of what's happening. Thank you so much for your time and for paying attention to this important safety initiative, and please share this with others.